Hey, what up y'all? Mr. Cruz here, your friendly neighborhood producer, back with another video. And in today's video, we are taking a look at Audiomodern's Panflow plugin. Let's go. Panflow is a free AI generated automatic panning plugin courtesy of our friends over at Audiomodern. In the past couple months, I had done a really in-depth review and a couple tutorials on one of their other plugins called Play Beat 3, which is a drum sequencer. If you've seen that video and you're looking at this right now, a lot of this is going to seem very similar and you're probably going to be a lot more comfortable with it. All right, so to start with, we have our sync button up here, which you can kind of click to be able to have that sync to your DAW, which of course you do want that. Speed is in reference to our sequencer down here. This is going to tell you how fast your sequencer is going to be moving throughout your grid right here. Here is where you can kind of change the grid size. So if right now it's set to 1/4, but let's say I wanted to make some more finite adjustments, I can change it to 1/8, and now I have a little bit more flexibility and more capability to make those moves. I gotta select snap to grid, right? And then now they will snap to the grid. Here we have our feather fader, and what this does is turning it up will make those transitions a lot smoother in the sequencer. So I'm gonna press play here to give you guys a kind of an understanding of what this does. I'm gonna set this all the way to 0 right now, and let's bump the speed up to, yeah, let's go to 1/4. So at 1/4, listening to this loop, you should be able to hear like the audible clicking or the audible, like it cycling and cutting off and looping back in the beginning, right? Let's listen. So I selected that one there because it gives us a more bit of a pronounced clicking sound. And so I'm gonna turn this up, and then you'll see that it'll smooth out that clicking or that transition from the end to cycling back to the beginning. So this is a nice little tool that we get here. If you remember from my Play Beat 3 video, this is our randomizer button. So clicking this will randomize whatever moves are made down here on the grid, and click it as many times as you want. The cool thing about these buttons over here to the left is that these buttons over here to the left will determine how complex that randomization is going to be. So this one would be simple, this one would be a little bit more complex, this one would be like the plot to tenant level of complex. So if we select really complex, you'll see that the moves become a little bit more complex. Actually, let me change the grid size up some so that we can see it a bit better. Here on the side is where you can kind of determine what type of moves that you want to create on the grid. So if I select this one right here, it's gonna make only straight lines when I kind of make points on this grid. So I'm gonna delete some of these other points here. Oh, please tell me FL froze on me, please. It would bring me so much joy to see that happen right now. All right, that's it. I'm done. I can't do this. All right, so we're gonna go with round 2 here. All right, so like I said, deleting our points here and now selecting straight line means that when I make 2 points, it's gonna create a straight line. This one will create a curved line, and this was kind of already a curved line, so it's not gonna look that different. And then this one will create a step, kind of like what we saw with kind of like a square wave when we did that kind of pattern. And then the last couple things I want to show you is over here we have the infinity button. So what the infinity button does is when this is enabled, that means that our sequencer is going to play whatever pattern is located here in the grid, and then when that sequencer starts over, again according to whatever speed you selected, it's going to randomize the next pattern, and it'll continue to do that over and over again. The button, the number right here on the side, you can type in whatever number you want. So like I say, I can put 2. So this means that now the sequencer is going to play through 2 times, right? It's going to cycle through that pattern twice, and then on the third one, it's going to randomize it. And then we have the dry wet knob over here, and then this right here, what we're going to use is this is determining like, hey, what part of the grid do you actually want to play? So if I only want to play half of this, even though I have it set to 4th, it's technically, I guess, going to be 1/8 because I kind of cut it in half. And over here, you can kind of determine the depth of the panning that is going to be taking place. So let's say I don't really want that much panning to happen. I can kind of bring this range down here, and then if I click the middle, it'll, whoa, hold on a second. Let's have this enabled. Now if I click the middle, it'll move the entire pattern according to how I want it. Let's go ahead and undo some of that right there. All right, let's go ahead and throw this on here, and I'm gonna show you guys how I like to use Panflow and what I think has turned out best in terms of like adding this to whatever melody or instrument you're gonna be using. All right, so I'm gonna start with the feather kind of at 60 or 50% there, and I'm gonna start with my dry wet knob all the way at 0. So what I like to do is I kind of like to keep it towards the middle. I'm going to create these 3 right here to kind of keep my stereo field as close to center as possible. And then I'm gonna lock those 3. We can set the infinity to going through 2 cycles, and then it'll randomize that all together. So what I really only wanted to do is to only impact the middle of our sound. So I'm gonna select my speed to 0. Let's select our grid to 1, so that way it doesn't mess. Actually, no, set it to 1/4. Actually, no, let's set it to 1/8. And let's go ahead and see how this sounds. I know you guys heard a clicking there, but that's not a result of Panflow, that's a result of my loop just going all the way back to the beginning. See if we can crank the speed up some. See, I like that more, like if at all possible, being able to control the beginning and the end of the loop and keeping that as kind of static as possible. I think that sounds better because then it gives you like this surprise in the middle of the melody, or at least in the middle of like the cycle, to be able to be flexible and kind of be more creative. And I'll also think like maybe setting it to 2 or 4 as far as like the infinity cycle, that would probably also give you like the best results. But in my opinion, I mean, you have FL's Panamatic, right? This blows Panamatic out of the water. You get a lot more flexibility, you get a lot more creativity, and you also get the added benefit of a robot doing the job for you. And on top of that, like, it's 100% free. Like, there's no like, hey, trial version, hey, here's the light version with like limited features. No, this is 100% free. Every feature in here accessible from the get-go. The only thing, if I had any kind of complaint, the only complaint that I would have is that you're not really given presets per se. See, when you kind of create something, let's say I go here to default, I have created my own presets, and these presets are associated with like these quick slots that we have down here. So if, let's say on this one, I wanted to save this one as 5, or I'm sorry, as 6, now I have preset 6, and you can kind of bounce back and forth between those up here, and it's kind of hard to see, but it says 1, 2, 3, 4. You can kind of bounce back and forth between those in the preset selector, but you're not necessarily given presets per se. Well, that's what I got for you guys. Let me know in the comments below what you guys think. If you guys are gonna check out Audiomodern's Panflow, again, it's free, so you really don't have anything to lose outside of, I don't know, like the 5 megabyte size of it. But still, let me know in the comments below what you guys think of it. Outside of that, it's your boy, Mr. Cruz, out. Before I go, I did want to let you guys know I have a free course available on my website. Click the link in the description. It'll take you to the course where you can download it 100% for free. This course is all about how to sell your next beat in 7 days. It's the same method and the same process that I use to be able to sell beats consistently, and I'm giving you the gems 100% for free. So click the link in the description, go download that course, and I'll see you guys later.